Today let's make shepherd's pie, or should we call it gardener's pie? So shepherd's pie is composed of 3 distinct layers. The top layer is mashed potatoes, so that's where we're going to start.
We're going to start with 5 medium Idaho potatoes.
And I just want to cut them into chunks so I can put them in a pot. And we want to cover those potatoes with water. Just cover, splashing, no splashing. And then we put this on the stove. Turn the burner to high, which would be like, I don't know, 9,000, whatever it is on the stove. Let that come to a boil, wait 5 minutes, and then they should be fork tender. So next up is the meat portion, and that has a lot of ingredients. We are going to be using TVP, which is textured vegetable protein, and lentils today. Now, if you want to use just lentils, you can totally do that. If you want to use just TVP, you can totally do that too. First, a can of lentils. Drained, of course. Lentils in the pan.
Next up is 1 cup of TVP. 3 cups of water.
This helps to hydrate that TVP.
Now it's flavor time. Pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. The Wonder Twins, garlic powder and onion powder, 1 teaspoon each.
Eyeball it if you want to, it's okay.
1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. A tablespoon of tomato paste. We love this paste that you can get in a tube. It's so convenient. A teaspoon of soy sauce.
And a teaspoon of this. Now, some people call this Worcestershire sauce. It's actually Worcestershire sauce, but in England, they just call it Worcester sauce. This is the vegan version. Now I just want to mix that around. Make sure everything gets dissolved in there, the tomato paste and all that. And what'll start happening is already the TVP is soaking up some of that liquid, but we're going to speed up that process and cook up those lentils by putting it on the stove. Put it to, about 6.42. And then give this a stir. Once it starts to come up to a bubble or a boil, I'm probably gonna turn that down a lot. We're basically gonna cook this down until it's just meaty with no real liquid left, like you won't see the liquid. What I mean by fork tender is when you take a fork, it should go in nice and smooth and easily without breaking up the potato too much and without too much pressure. That's how you know they're done. Then you want to drain your potatoes and then put your potatoes back into the empty pot. Trust me. So now that the meat has come to a boil, I'm going to turn it down to like 2.2 and give this a good stir. And you want to give this a stir every now and then so that it doesn't burn.
I wish we had smell-o-vision.
It really does smell amazing. Now, we got some stuff to add to these because it's not mashed potatoes yet. What is this?
This is almond milk, 3/4 of a cup. Now you have some choices.
We like to use Kite Hill yogurt for this, but you can also use cashew cream. That works as well.
A 1/2 cup either way.
And I'm eyeballing this.
Salt and pepper to taste.
And just a couple good pinches. Potatoes always really like salt. They like pepper too, and so does Derica.
Yes. A teaspoon of garlic powder. 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. This is going to give it kind of a cheesy flavor.
And now we mash. And I'm just using a potato masher because it's the easiest way to go. Sure, you could throw it in a food processor if you really wanted to, but I don't think that's the best way to go. And yes, the skins are all still on there. You gotta eat the skins, they're so good for you. Now, the reason why I put them back into the pot rather than in a bowl or something, because A, why get something else dirty, and B, you don't want all that water that was on them. So by putting them back into the hot pot for a couple of minutes, it actually helps to evaporate that extra liquid. When you get done mixing up the potatoes, make sure to give the masher to somebody that will appreciate it. Okay, so next we're gonna put a pan on the stove and I'm gonna turn the burner on to about 5.88. Next up is some veg, because no shepherd's pie or gardener's pie doesn't have vegetables in it.
We're gonna start with 2 medium carrots.
Chop off the nasty bits. And what do we do with those?
Oh, those are gonna go into our compost bowl or our broth bowl.
Now for size, I tend to go a little bit smaller on these. Cut them in half, and then cut each half in half, and then just chop them up. Something like that. A little home style is okay. At this point, see all the liquid is gone? We can turn that burner off and just let it come down in temperature a bit. It's fine.
2 herbs of celery, or in this case 3 because they were skinny.
And I'm just gonna chop the nasty bits off, and again, they go into the broth bowl. They have nasty bits on both sides. First, I like to run just a little bit down the middle so that they're narrower pieces, and then chop them up. About the same size as the carrots.
5 mushrooms.
That's 6. Close enough.
6 mushrooms. Basically, all these volumes are different because what if you have little tiny carrots? Then you're going to need more carrots. Same with mushrooms.
All right, all these nasty bits that I'm cutting off the ends, the stem part, that all goes into the broth bowl. All right, and I'm just gonna slice them up. Whoops, don't cut your fingers. I almost got my finger there. You don't have to get too crazy, but you know, sliced mushrooms. It always works really, really well for this kind of dish.
All right, now we need half an onion.
And I'm just gonna peel off the outer layers, because again, broth bowl. And then we're just going to cut it into nice rustic size pieces, something like that. And last but not least,
2 cloves of garlic.
And garlic has nasty bits too, just those little woody ends. Get rid of those. They also go in the broth bowl. And then I'm just gonna mince it up. As long as you end with the same number of fingers that you started with, you have done it right. Okay, we have our pan heated up. I'm just gonna do a couple of sprays of oil. This happens to be olive oil, but use whatever oil you like. And in goes the veg. You should hear a sizzle. That's why we preheat. I'm putting in everything but the garlic. Okay, once I get them in the pan, I just wanna move everything around, get them a little bit coated with that oil, start the cooking process. It takes probably 5 to 10 minutes to fully cook these, but they don't have to be totally fully cooked because we are gonna bake it, but I want them to be a little bit browned, you know, a little cooked. If you did not want to use oil for this step, you don't have to. You can either use a nonstick pan or you can try using water or veggie broth. Either way actually works really, really well. I just like the extra little bit that olive oil gives it. But while these veggies are cooking, we have some other things to add. You gotta flavor them up a little bit. What's first?
A pinch of salt. And a pinch of pepper, a teaspoon of thyme, and a teaspoon of oregano.
And then mix that through too. If you feel that they're starting to burn, you can turn your pan down. I like to keep it a little hot because I want some color on these vegetables. I don't want them to just be naked. I actually want some color. While all that's going on, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll put the Celsius right here because I can never remember what it is.
So at this point, you can see that the onions have started to get kind of translucent. That's a good indicator that you are ready to add the garlic.
If you put the garlic in too early, it can burn. Get it all. There was a couple little bits.
Burnt garlic is bitter garlic, and we don't want that.
Right. Give that just like another minute with the garlic.
And then we're gonna add 1 cup of frozen peas.
Because, you know, this is originally an English dish, and no English dish that I know of does not have peas in it. I don't mean that to be insulting, but it's kind of true.
I like peas, so I'm okay with that.
Peas are awesome. But by using frozen peas like this, that little bit of water that they're giving off keeps everything from burning. Because at this point, I can shut off the heat. And now it's time to assemble. The pan that we're going to use is actually a 9x13 or a 3-quart pan. And I like to use glass for this. It just seems to work really, really well. First in the pan is our meat mixture. Just get all of it in there. Once it's all in, spread it out corner to corner. This is our first layer.
And now it's time for the veg.
And I'm just gonna pour it right over the top and spread the veg out evenly, just like the first layer. Now comes Derica's favorite part, the mashed potatoes. And I just kind of blob them on at first and then spread them around nice and even. But there's actually an extra step that you gotta do with the potatoes. So get them kind of spread out, even coverage all around if you can. Now, one thing that a lot of people will do is they'll run a fork over it with the tines like this to kind of break up the surface. It makes for a little bit of a crispier topping for the mashed potatoes. I like it. It doesn't always crisp up. Traditionally, you would add butter and things like that on top. I'm trying not to do that. We're keeping it a little bit healthier than that. But I do the tracks through the potatoes because it's fun. I even go the other side too, just on half. See, look at that. You can go diagonal and all kinds of stuff if you really want to, but we're done with that. So now I'm gonna put some tin foil or aluminum foil or whatever you call it on top. Just loosely cover it is fine. This will go in the oven, 350 degrees for 45 minutes with the cover on. Once 45 minutes has passed, remove the tin foil, stick it back in the oven. Another 15 minutes. Okay, so we cooked it for 45 minutes with the cover on, 15 minutes with the cover off. Now it's been sitting for 15 minutes and it's almost, like you can almost touch it. It's time to cut into this and give it a taste. Now it's the best time of every cooking video. We get to taste it. The trick behind shepherd's pie, or gardener's pie, or whatever you want to call it, is to get a little bit of everything in every bite.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. You ready? You get the richness of the lentil and TVP layer. Everything is seasoned differently, if you notice, on purpose. The richness of that layer is amazing. The creaminess of the potatoes on top. And then you got just enough texture left in the vegetables that just, so good.
This is delightful.
This is her mom's favorite thing that I make.
It looks good, it smells good, and it tastes fantastic.
Oh, let's talk storage options. Once it's in that condition, cooked and everything, cover it in tin foil, keep it in the fridge a few days, if it can last that long, or cut it into the individual pieces and wrap those in foil and freeze it.
Yep.
That would be my suggestion. Get it out of there into individual pieces and freeze it. And that way you can throw it in the microwave if you really want to, or an air fryer or something like that to crisp up that potato just a little bit. And then you got something really amazing. Even after it's been frozen for months, you can still make use of it.
If you want to try a classic dish in a new way, try this recipe.
Absolutely. Make this. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on The Bistro.